Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome to lesson number 12 in Islamic Inheritance. Inshallah, in today's lesson, we will be going over the final of the Dhawil Furud. The last of the Dhawil Furud or Ashab al-Furud. The last of the Dhawil Furud is the Ukht li'ab. Ukht li'abin, Ukht li'ab, the paternal sister. So when two individuals have two individuals have the same father but different mothers. And the Ukht li'ab has 7 conditions altogether. Condition number 1 reads, when alone, and the Akh, Ukht, Akh li'ab, Ab, Jad, Ibn, Bint are not present. So the Ukht li'ab has the most conditions from all the Ashab al-Furud or the Bil Furud, and it also has the longest conditions, so the most relatives you have to look out for. So we need to look out for the Akh, Ukht, Akh li'ab, Ab, Jad, Ibn, Bint. If none of these are present and there's only one of them, then she will receive 1/2 of the inheritance. Condition number 2 reads, the exact same situation, the only difference being that when 2 or more, not when alone, but when 2 or more. So when 2 or more, and the Akh, Ukht, Akh li'ab, Ab, Jad, Ibn, Bint are not present. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 relatives we need to look out for. Condition number 3 reads, when 1 Ukht is present and the Akh, Akh li'ab, Ab, Jad, Ibn, Bint are not present. So the one relative that is present here is the Ukht. So over here, we mentioned that the Ukht must not be present in order for her to get 1/2, in order for the Ukht li'ab to get 1/2 of the inheritance. So over here on top of Ukht, I'm going to write the number 3, denoting that if the Ukht is present, it falls under number 3, if 1 Ukht is present. Condition number 4 states, when the Bint/Bintul Ibn is present and the Akh, Ukht, Akh li'ab, Ab, Jad, Ibn are not present. So over here, Bint will write condition number 4. Again, these are things you need to learn off by heart. These are conditions which we need to learn off by heart. And as we mentioned in the last lesson, اجعلوا الأخوات مع البنات عصبة. So when the Bint and Ukht come together, the Ukht automatically becomes Hasaba, either Ukht full or Ukht li'abin. This doesn't refer to the Ukht li'ummin. So condition number 4, the Ukht li'ab will receive Asaba when the Bintul Ibn is present and the Akh, Ukht, Akh li'ab, Ab, Jad, Ibn are not present. Condition number 5 reads, 1/2 of the Akh li'ab's share when the Akh li'ab is present and the Akh, Ab, Jad, Ibn are not present. So the Akh li'ab, we write here Akh li'ab, condition number 5. And condition number 6 and 7, in both conditions, the Ukht li'ab is mahroom. Condition number 6, when she is mahroom when the Akh is present. So the Akh over here, condition number 6. Then the Ukht li'abin becomes present. Sorry about that glitch there, battery was going to die. Okay, so let's start again inshallah. So condition number 6, when the Akh is present. So when the Akh, i.e. the full Akh is present, the Ukht li'abin becomes mahroom. Or when 2 or more Ukhts in the absence of a Akh li'ab. So 2 or more Ukhts. In condition number 3, we learned that when 1 Ukht is present, then the Ukht li'abin will receive 1/6. However, if 2 Ukhts are present, then the Ukht li'abin will become mahroom unless she has a Akh li'ab to go along with and make into Asaba. And the third part of condition number 6 is when 1 Ukht who has become Asaba. Inshallah, this condition number 6 we'll look in detail later anyway, just as a brief overview, or 1 Ukht who has become Asaba. So if there is already another Ukht who has become Asaba, then the Ukht li'ab will become mahroom. Condition number 7 is when the Ab, Jad, Ibn are present, then the Ukht li'abin is mahrum. So there might be a lot of things in here which are unclear. Inshallah, they will become clear through the examples and questions. So let's start again from condition number 1. When alone and the ukht, akh li ab, abjad ibn, bint are not present. So we're looking out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 relatives you are looking out for altogether. 7 relatives. So let's look in this question. Let's first do the ones that we know. Zawj we know gets 1/2 over here. Akh li ummin will get 1/6. Jadda will also get 1/6. Now, the ukht li abin, what does the ukht li abin get? Is there any akh present? No. Okay, and we know that when we mention akh here, we mean akh full, not akh li ummin. Hence, I put akh li ummin in this question to make that clear. So, is there any full akh here? No. Any ukht? No. Any akh li abin? No. Ab, jad, ibn? No. Bint? No. Therefore, the ukht li abin will receive half of the inheritance. Half of the inheritance. And condition number 2 follows the exact same rule, except that there are 2 or more. So again, over here we can see Zawj, who will receive half, Akh li ummin 1/6, Jadda 1/6. Now these 2 ukht li abins together will receive 2/3. Again, look out for the relatives. Is there any akh here? No, there is no akh. Any ukht? No ukht. Any akh li ab? No. Any ab jad ibn? No. Any bint? No. And therefore, the ukht li abin will receive 2/3 of the inheritance. That's why it's important that we learn the conditions off by heart. Because as soon as we see a question, as soon as we see ukht li abin, we can quickly run through the conditions in our head, and we can assign the fraction. Condition number 3 reads, when one ukht is present and the akh li ab, abjad ibn, bint are not present, then the ukht li abin will receive 1/6 of the inheritance. So first of all, let's go through the relatives that we know already. Zawja we know receives a quarter. Over here we know receives 1/6. Now we have a ukht and we have a ukht li abin. The ukht over here will receive half, and the ukht li abin will receive 1/6 of the inheritance. It may help to understand that the akhawat between them, excluding the ukht li ummin and akh li ummin, that's a separate category. The other akhawat, be it full ukht or ukht li abin, all the other akhawat, all the other sisters between them, they can receive a maximum of 2/3. Between them, they can receive a maximum of 2/3. And it makes sense that we give priority to the full sister over the half sister, over the paternal sister. So over here, as we're answering the questions, we see 2 ukhts pop up. Over here, the first ukht, we know her conditions, we can assign her 1/2. And we also know that the maximum that can be given to all the sisters together is 2/3. And from 2/3, once you take away a half, you're left over with 1/6. And therefore, this 1/6 can be assigned to the ukht li abin. Which also helps us to understand that had there been 2 ukhts over here, they would have received 2/3 of the inheritance. And as we shall learn in condition number 6, when this takes place, then the ukht li abin will become mahroom or mahjoob. And so let's read through the condition one more time. When one ukht is present, so that was just an extra bit there. So when one ukht is present, so over here, how many ukhts are present? 1 ukht is present. And the akh, is the akh anywhere? No. The akh li ab, is the akh li ab anywhere? No. Abjad ibn anywhere? No. Bint, are any of them present? All of them are not present. Therefore, we will assign 1/6 to the ukht li abin. Another example for condition number 3. Again, the condition reads, when one ukht is present and the akh li ab, abjad ibn, bint are not present. So let's go through this question again. Zawja 1/4. Jadda will receive 1/6. Now we have here one ukht who will receive half, and therefore the remainder of 1/6 will go to the ukht li abin. The ukht li abin, when one ukht is present. So over here, when one ukht is present and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are not present. That's condition number 3. Condition number 4 is when the bintul ibn is present and the ukht, li ab, abjad ibn are not present, then she will become asaba, as we've discussed in the last lesson. اجعلوا الأخوات مع البنات عصبة. So over here, zawja will receive 1/8. Bint we know receives a half. Will receive 1/6. Now what will we give the ukht? We will say اجعلوا الأخوات مع البنات عصبة. So put a ayn here for asaba. However, obviously we have to look out for all the other relatives not being present. The other relatives, i.e. the akh. Can we see the akh anywhere? No. Can we see the ukht anywhere? Full ukht? No. Can we see the akh li abin anywhere? No. Abjad ibn? No. And therefore we can follow this rule and make the ukht li abin asaba. Another example for condition number 4. When the bintul ibn is present and the ukht li ab, abjad ibn are not present, then she will become asaba. Again, first let's do the ones that we know. So zawja will receive 1/8, will receive 1/6, bintul ibn 1/2. Now we have here ukht li abin and ukht li abin. We see two ukht li abins here. We can see that the bintul ibn is present. Therefore, اجعلوا الأخوات مع البنات عصبة. Obviously, going through all the other relatives not being present. So the akh anywhere to be seen? No. Ukht anywhere to be seen? No. Akh li abin? No. Abjad ibn? No. Therefore, we can follow this rule and make the ukht li ab asaba. Condition number 5. Condition number 5 reads, when the akh li ab is present and the akh ab, the akh, abjad ibn are not present, then the ukht will receive half of akh li abin's share. So over here, let's do the zawja will receive 1/8, bint 1/2, 1/6. Now over here we have the ukht li abin. According to condition number 5, when the akh li ab is present, we draw one line underneath all of them and we write ayn for asaba. Ayn for asaba. Over here, we're not making the ukht li abin asaba because the bint is present. Rather, we are making the ukht li abin asaba. Why? Because the akh li abin is present. Obviously, we are looking out for all the other relatives that must not be present, namely the akh, abjad ibn. These 4 relatives, obviously the abjad ibn come together, as I'm sure you're aware, and I've got used to now. But anyway, by now anyway, so the abjad ibn are gonna make ukht li abin mahrum. However, in the ukht li abin, another relative that can make her mahjub or mahjuba is, or can deprive her, make her mahrum, is the full akh. And so we've added the akh in here. Right, condition number 6 has 3 parts to it. Over here, let's do each part one at a time, inshallah. So the first part being when the akh is present. When the akh is present. So over here, let's obviously do the relatives. You know, zawja will receive 1/4, jadda will receive 1/6, and now we have here the akh li abin, ukht li abin. However, we also have the full akh. So when the akh is present, then the ukht li abin becomes mahjub. When the full akh is present, the ukht li abin becomes mahjub. For your information, we'll discuss this in detail in future lessons, inshallah. But the akh li abin also is mahjub, and the akh over here will be asaba. Nonetheless, don't pay too much attention to that, inshallah. What we do need to know for this lesson is the akh is present, therefore the ukht li ummin will become mahjub. That was 6.1. 6.2 is 2 or more ukhts in the absence of the akh li ab. 2 or more ukhts in the absence of the akh li ab. So let's take a look at this question over here. Again, very quickly, zawja will receive 1/4. We have here ukht. We have here ukht li abin, and we have here ukht li ummin. Ukht li ummin we've done already as well. she will receive 1/6. And we've done the ukht also. We know that in this condition, the ukht will receive 2/3 of the inheritance. So the condition reads 2 or more ukhts in the absence of a akh li ab. So over here we have 2 or more ukhts in the absence of a akh li abin. Therefore the ukht li abin will be mahjubah or mahjub. If there was a akh li abin in this situation, then these two together would become asaba. These two together will become asaba. Hence, the clause here, in the absence of the akh li abin. In the absence of the akh li abin, she would become mahjub, which is the example we are on right now. So, the ukht li abin becomes mahjub. That was 6.2. Or one ukht who has become asaba. Or one ukht who has become asaba. Okay. I'm just going to quickly do a written example for that. I don't think I made a slide for that, unfortunately. So one ukht who has become asaba. So let's take this example here, inshallah. We have zawj, bint, ukht, and ukht li abin. Zawj will receive a quarter, bint will receive a half. Now we know the rule اجعلوا الأخوات مع البنات عصبة, and obviously this rule will initially apply to the full sister. So the full sister here would become asaba. Now that the full sister has become asaba, there's nothing left over for the ukht li abin, and she will become mahjub. Hence the rule states, when one ukht is present who has become the asaba, then this ukht li abin will become mahjub. Condition number 7, very simply, when the ab, jad, ibn are present, then the ukht li abin becomes mahjub. So over here, what I think I've done is I've given an example for condition number 6. I think I'm getting my slides a bit mixed up. Nonetheless, okay, let's work through this, inshallah. So we have zawja who will get 1/8, bint who will get a half, ukht become asaba. Now over here, ukht li abin, akh li abin, as we said, will become mahjub according to condition number 6. And let's do a quick example for condition number 7. Let's say zawj, ukht li abin, and ab. So when the ab, jad, ibn are present, the ukht li abin becomes mahjub. The ab will be asaba, and the zawj would be 1/2. So sorry about the mix-up in the slides there. Please do forgive me for that. Inshallah, we'll start some questions now, inshallah. So as always, pause the screen, sorry, till you got the question, and you can check the answers after. So in this situation, we have zawj. Zawj will receive a quarter, bint al-ibn will receive a half, have akh li ummin, akh li abin, ukht li abin, ukht li abin. So the akh li ummin will be mahjub because of this, and the akh li ab, ukht li ab, ukht li ab will become asaba. And if you don't fully understand, you can refer back to the conditions, inshallah. Refer back to the table of inheritance, the table of heirs with fixtures. Zawja, ukht li ab, jad. So the zawja would receive quarter, the jad would be asaba. Come to condition number 7. Ab, jad, ibn are present, therefore they would be mahjub. Over here, akh, ukht will become asaba. Akh li abin, ukht li abin will become mahjub. So because the akh is present, the ukht li abin becomes mahjub. Over here, zawja receives a quarter, ukht li abin according to condition number 1 receives a half, and would receive a third. So the zawja would receive a quarter. We have ukht, ukht li-abin, ukht li-abin. So the ukht would receive a half. Ukht li-abin, according to condition number 3, would receive 1/6, and the would receive 1/6. So according to condition number 2, ukht li-ab would receive 2/3, would receive 1/6, and zawja would receive a quarter. In this situation, the zawja would receive 1/8, bint 1/2, ukht would become asaba, and according to condition number 6, when one ukht is present who has received the remainder of the wealth, the ukht li-abin would become mahjub, and the would receive 1/6. The zawja would receive over here quarter, ukht li-abin. So these two ukhts over here would receive 2/3, leaving nothing for the ukht li-abin, who would be mahjub. So again, according to condition number 6, when two or more ukhts are present in the absence of a akh li-ab, over here would receive 1/6. زوجة would receive 1/8, بنت 1/2, أخت لأب اجعلوا الأخوات مع البنات عصبة. So put a nice juicy عين there, and would receive 1/6. So over here the زوجة would receive 1/4. The أخت would receive a half. أخت لأب all together would receive 1/6, and the أخت لأم would receive 1/6. زوجة 1/8, بنت a half, أخ لأب أخت لأب together عصبة. الزوجة would receive a quarter. Over here we have أخت لأب. So these two ukhts over here would receive 2/3, leaving nothing for the أخت لأب, who would become mahjub, and would receive 1/6. Over here زوجة 1/8, bint ibn together عصبة, أخت لأب because of the ibn would become mahjub. So over here the zawja would receive quarter, أخت لأب would receive a half, and jadda would receive 1/6. Over here zawja would receive a quarter, أخت لأب together would receive 2/3, and jadda 1/6. zawja over here 1/8, bint al-ibn a half, أخ لأب أخت لأب. So because the full akh is present, the أخت لأب would become mahjub. This is in fact all of both of them together, although we haven't covered the akh لأب technically yet. Zawja would receive 1/8. Bint al-ibn would receive half. أخت لأب اجعلوا الأخوات مع البنات عصبة. Zawja would receive a quarter, أخت half, أخت لأب 1/6. So that brings us to the end of the lesson. Please do feel free to put your comments, any questions in the comment section below. please do also find a link to some after lesson questions, inshallah. The Ukht al-Abin was perhaps one of the more intricate ones. It does bring us to the end of the Zawil Furud, and the next topic we need to go over is the Asabat. But before we do that, inshallah, I'll try and upload 1 or 2 videos where we can just do mixed questions, inshallah, of all the Asabat. The more practice we do, the better we get. The more practice we do, the faster, the more we understand the conditions. So inshallah, I intend to do a few more lessons, a few more videos rather, in which we'll only do questions, maybe 15, 20, 25 questions each. And then once we're confident in the Zawil Furud, we can then move on to the Asabat, inshallah.